Hi, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your March 16th to the 31st, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box below, pretending to be me, offering you a reading. This person is not me. They are a scammer. I will not be soliciting you for anything. Do not be scammed. With that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Awesome. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Taurus. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Taurus. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Taurus. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Taurus. Oh, goodness. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. Now let's see your chakra energy for this time. Taurus. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Taurus. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Taurus. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Fantastic. And let's also see the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy we need to be mindful of for Taurus, March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Taurus? What is the energy we need to be mindful of for Taurus, March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Taurus? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. Okay. So let's see what everything has to say. We're going to start off with the chakra energies. We have the I Am Presence, which is the crown chakra, and that is my favorite card in this whole entire deck. And then we have flexibility with the sacral chakra. We're going to see how this all correlates to the tarot. On the left-hand side is the inner self. The middle is the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. I have to say, I'm super excited. I don't know if you guys can see the back, but about using these cards. These are the, oh my gosh, The Stolen Child. That's the title of the cards. It's from a Yeats poem, and I love the poem. I love these cards. They're astounding. They'll be linked in the description box below. And what's really cool about them also is that they're from a Texas, in the United States, of course, based artist. And after all Texas has been through, it is just so nice to be able to support an artist there. So if you're interested, if you like them, if you love them as much as I do, check it out. Okay. With that said, let's see. We have the Four of Cups, the Knight of Swords, which is amazing. You have the Ace of Cups, so you're definitely taking this gift, and the Ten of Pentacles. So that's prosperity that lasts for generations. This is cool. Okay, so there's some. Okay, so before we go any further, yeah, the four of Cups. There's a gift that's coming in that it's just not going to seem like a gift, and there's so much that you're contending with right now. But oh my goodness. Okay, so you were crowned with the Sun. That's brilliant. We have the Eight of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and then the King of Swords. So you go from being the Knight here to being the King. So that is amazing. Swords, of course, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If you're born on the cusp with Gemini, your Gemini side is going to come out strong, which at times can be in conflict with your Taurus side. So just be mindful of that. We have the Eight of Flames, the Eight of Wands. The repeat of the number 8 here means that we can take this time astoundingly seriously, like a little bit too seriously. So be mindful of that. We have the Six of Pentacles. Things need to be balanced. The Emperor is coming through, which is Aries energy, March 21st to April 19th. If you're born on the cusp with Aries, or if you have Aries in your natal chart, that's going to shine through astoundingly. So just be ready for that. And then we have the Nine of Cups. So that's beautiful. And then the energy to be mindful of, which is very interesting, we have it in a very positive way here in the reading. The energy to be mindful of is the Lord, Aries, right here, right? So again, March 21st to April 19th is the time frame, but it's going to be somebody playing off of this aspect of yourself during this time, this creative, searching, knowledge-seeking, cutting through a lot of nonsense type of energy, and then also claiming the power, knowing the truth, like sitting in your power, sitting meditatively, powerfully, personally in that power, opening up the doors. And so somebody is going to be using this aspect of yourself against you during this time, like trying to manipulate it for their own personal gains. So we have here the Lord energy. This is somebody who's going to be lording things over you, quite literally, during this time. They're going to be using your ambition, or using the way that you want to move forward to better whatever aspect of your life against you. And this is going to be a time where you might actually even find yourself putting your foot down and saying, no, this is nonsense. I have a blessing within my heart, which we can absolutely see here. I will not be silenced. I will not be held back. I am embracing what I need to embrace in order to move forward. But just know that you will be meeting with opposition with that. And it can really make you question, because it's in the public arena, it can really make you question the blessings that are coming and the way that you're trying to balance out things, because there is a sense of things moving forward in a rather spectacular manner. And divinity is saying, it's time to move towards what it is that we truly want here. And then we have the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is somebody who's going to be very authoritative in their power, in their version of the truth. Now, the unfortunate thing where we have all these different versions of truths, because they're all people's individual interpretations, can mean that things get messy. And this person is going to want to, I just keep on hearing the Red Queen from, from Alice in Wonderland. It's like, off with their heads. They have to see things this way, or else this person is going to get unreasonably annoyed at things, unreasonably sharp-tongued, can become very malicious and vindictive. So just be mindful of that energy, because you're trying to move forward one way. And this can be somebody who's just also very controlling and uses their words as a trap. So you're thinking, oh, well, that's cool. They're agreeing with me, or they're seeing things this way or that way. And then they're going to have trapped you, because they're going to have, they're just going to have manipulated the situation. So be mindful of that energy, because it's not nice. And then we have the I am presence. Now, the I am presence is the crown chakra. And I love this because the I am presence is asking us, how do we see ourselves? How do we speak about ourselves? How are we moving ourselves forward? How are we crowning ourselves with our power? So here, with the crown chakra coming through, the I am presence, what do we say we are? I am talented and ambitious and powerful, and I am, conquering my world and ruling my life in a powerful and brilliant way. Or I am sad and overwhelmed, and I am, not able to move forward the way that I want to. I'm upset. I'm stressed out. And I know people say, Dane, why do you say the negative? I say the negative because it's important to hear. So many times when people are talking about self-improvement, right, and they say the positive things, I'm always on board. I'm like, yes, that's so me, right? And then you get the negative side coming up. And the negative side is then telling us what we don't want to see about ourselves. But if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of times it holds a lot of truth. I'm never going to get to where I want to be. I'm always going to be second best. I'm always going to be, fighting so hard to just get a little bit. We're not successful people. That type of mentality. And when we hear somebody say it, and we can feel that little ring of truth, that's where we know we need to work on that. Because why? Why are we being held back? Why are we holding ourselves back mentally, spiritually, personally within our lives? Why can't we say I am enough? Not that I am everything I ever want to be in any moment of my life, right in this time. Because Lord knows we have improvements to do and power to walk forward. But in this moment, I'm striving to be the very best that I can be. So I am enough. And that power brings us to the flexibility of the sacral chakra. And the flexibility of the sacral chakra, well, that's where a lot of negativity from this life and past lives are held. That's why we don't think we're enough. Why we can curse ourselves out and get so angry at our own despairs and heartbreaks and disappointments. The sacral chakra comes forward. And what the sacral chakra says, here with flexibility, how am I looking at the way I want to be within my life? What is keeping me from changing mindsets, from looking at things differently, from opening up doors that I never had before? And it's the negativity that's blocking them. And so the flexibility is embracing wisdom. And so wisdom stands right here. And as we're calling forward wisdom, we're seeing ourselves in a different light. Not from the heartbreaks and the pains and the disappointments and the DNA line curses and the heartbreaking truths of existence. Not through the past life traumas and dramas, but through where we stand right now and the power and the purpose and the dedication we have to moving forward. So there's some barrier in your chakra energy that's being broken down. And it can be very emotional. It usually is. It can be astoundingly intense. And during this time, because we're already dealing with so much, just even spiritually, right, chakrally at this time, having the Four of Cups, the Four of Brine come in, that can make things difficult. Because what we're being given is a gift that we ourselves aren't seeing at that time. It's a gift that makes things so much harder, so much more intense. And what this is saying here is that it's going to be a game changer. It really is. So here, it is going to be a game changer to move us forward in the way that we want to go. And with the Four of Brine, there is a sense, with the Four of Cups, there is a sense that when we get it, first of all, it's not going to look like a gift at all. It is going to be something that can add to our burdens more than detracting from them. And as we're looking at where it is that we want to be and how it is that we want to move forward and what it is that we desire, the gift and the way that Spirit has the answers may very well not align with the answers that we have for ourselves. So it's kind of like we have to emotionally, inwardly keep an open mind to things. And there's something that we're dealing with here and now. And I really do feel from Spirit that this gift has come in before. It's not coming in right in this time frame. It's coming a bit before. And that's why it's crowning things, because it's having us look at things differently. It's having us, have to juggle so much more. It's added complications to things. But when we look back, and it can be years later, it can be months later, we are going to find that this was a turning point. This was a keystone moment that started to hold together all the archways, all the powers to move us forward that are to come. And then we have the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Zephyrus, I believe that's how you say it, is this sense of something has to die away in order for us to reach the potential that we have. And it sounds rather morbid, but it's not. It is a sense of something within us that is like a rabbit. So yes, rabbits are super cute, but in the realm of defenses and, purpose, they don't, how to say this nicely, they're mainly food, right? So here, when the owl takes the rabbit, it's sad and it's tragic, but it's also the purpose. So what I'm seeing here is there's this part of ourselves, when we have the owl self come forward, right, that needs to be expressed, that needs to be fueled, that needs to let its ferocity forward, because owls are very fierce birds, and that needs to claim the prey. And the prey is who we once were. The death is of what we once thought, how we once moved forward. And there's a weakness to us that is dying away. And that sounds dramatic, it does. But it's also astoundingly powerful, because I always see the Knight of Swords, and it's one of my favorite knights, because it cuts through everything. The Knight of Swords can be rash and impatient and, just terribly bold within itself. And sometimes that needs to be tempered. It's kind of like a teenager. Teenagers can be very brash and bolden, and they know they're right, and so they're just going to charge forward without really thinking things through. That type of mentality can be coming forward during this time, Taurus, where, passions run high, and it's like, I'm just going to plow through. I'm just going to get to where I need to be. But there is within us this kind of guarding and hoarding away of what we truly value, of what we truly want, of what we truly need to move forward in our lives in a powerful, prosperous, bountiful way. And so with the Knight of Swords, I always see him as slaying the dragon. Slaying the dragons that guard the gold and the maidens and steal away the towns, because that's what we value most. So here, there is a sense of slaying away what guards us from our most valued attributes of ourselves, our most valued talents. And then we cut through the poison of the world, and we ascend to a greater awakening, to a greater understanding, but also to the sense of the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine coming together. I always see the Knight of Swords as being like Prince Charming in Snow White. And so here, there is that power, there is that battle that's going on. And then it has the gift of the Ace of Cups coming in, which is going to correlate with the gift that we've been given that doesn't feel like a gift. But this is going to feel more like a gift. This is going to be something, and it can be a very small something, where the heart starts to change, where things start to turn, where we start to see things differently than before. And with the Ace of Cups, this brings us into an emotionally vulnerable state, because it's washing away so many angers, doubts, fears, disappointments, upsets that we carry within our hearts that have defined things for just way too long. And so here, just note that there is an emotional vulnerability, but there is this sense of a washing away. And the tears wash away the heartbreak. The emotions embolden and embrace the soul. And there is a clarity that comes in. And it brings us to the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles is prosperity and wealth and bounty and abundance, and a prosperity that lasts for generations. And it doesn't have to be an inheritance. when I think of this card, I'm always like, oh, maybe it's an inheritance for somebody. When I started with the tarot, I would always get really excited. But it doesn't have to be that writing out of a check. It can very well be that inheritance of, I helped change a person's life through my actions, through my emotions, through my grace, through my being. That's important. We don't value that as important because we've boiled everything down to the worship of money, which, I mean, money makes the world go round. It makes life so much easier, yes. But it also can take away so much if it becomes our only focus. And so here with the 10 of Pentacles, there's a sense of prosperity. There's a sense of wealth. There's a sense of wisdom, like ancient wisdom becoming part of the day-to-day existence. And it brings us to the sun. It brings us to the glory shining down on us. It brings us to this joy and this prosperity and this sense of, wow, just wow, like I can't believe I'm moving forward this way. This crowning of the heart, this love, this cherishing, this power, this truth is extraordinary. And during this time, we're going to have people want to kind of take us by eyes because they can see this within our hearts. They can see our hearts striving for something greater, something more, something beautiful, something true. And a lot of people want to sully that because if I have to be in misery, so do you. And during this time, just kind of safeguard yourself against it, against the misery, against the anger, against the pettiness of people, because it leads us then to the 8 of coins, to the 8 of Pentacles. This joyous happiness, this beauty, this success, this loveliness coming forward. With the 8 of Pentacles, it's like our hard work pays off. Emotionally, within our heart, within our soul, within ourselves, we start to see our hard work paying off. We start to see what we have sacrificed for, our blood, our sweat, our tears. It pays off. And it brings us to the 2 of Swords. It brings us to different roads leading us forward. We always thought that it was going to be one way or another, left or right. But we're also going to see that the threats that come to us, that sit there and say, I'm going to eat what you most value. I'm going to guide you down the road that you most want. Not that you most want, that I most want you to walk down. And it can be that you most want because it'll give you that sense of, see, I told everybody I could make it. And I'm going to make it in the way that everybody can see. The 2 roads are roads that others have chosen. And that we ourselves say, okay, A or B, because that's what the world has said to us. And so here, it's going to be that we start to see other roads opening. We start to see other ways forward. It's not just that, the eggs have to be guarded. It's that the eggs can be picked up. It's that things can be moved forward in directions that we hadn't thought they could be moved in before. And it leads us to the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is exquisite because the King of Swords is the king that is the warrior king that says, I'm not going to put up with this bull. I'm cutting through the doubts and the fears. I know where it is that I'm standing. I'm standing center stage. So you'll find that decisions will be made, not just off of, when Spirit is saying they'll be made emotionally, it's not just off of emotions that they will be made, but they'll be made with the power of conviction of Spirit behind them. Emotionally, you'll be listening to your gut a lot more, looking at your own personal knowledge through the accumulation of years that help you to see the truth and the power of the way that you're moving forward. And so with the King of Swords, you're cutting through a lot of nonsense. You're cutting to the heart of it all. You're looking at what it is that you truly desire. And you're saying, this is the essence. This is the essence of what I need. This is the power of what I want. And this is the purpose of me moving forward. And during this time, you become a warrior of your heart. There are also going to be, and what Spirit means by this, is that there are going to be moments where you step back and you say, it might make more sense to walk down the well-paved roads, right, with the 2 of Swords. But my heart, my passion, my knowledge, okay, is going to be in trying something different, in opening up to a path that I hadn't expected, to seeing things in a new light, in a powerful light, in a truthful light. And then it brings us to this coming together of the mind and the heart, to to have reason walk forward, to have, emotional awareness and brilliance guide us. And it brings us to the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is saying in the public arena, things start to happen fast. Things pick up speed. They gain an intensity to them. And while they're gaining an intensity and while they're moving us forward, we can get swept away. So that's also going to be another thing that's very important, because we have here this power of divinity moving us, not shaking up our whole entire world, but the fact that things start moving at a faster clip than we had expected. And it has to do around the hard work that we've put in, but it also has to do around the blessings that we want and the balance that we need within our prosperity. And it's going to bless us in a way that we're not really ready for, where it's like emotionally it brings up a lot of things. And it can be the fear of failure, the fear of success is also one. And I know people argue with me on that we don't have a fear of success. Yes, we do. A lot of times there's that whisper in the back of our mind. It's like, first of all, if I succeed, do I have to pull out off this like magic trick again? And then how will the success change my world? If we don't think about that, then we've really gone into things ill prepared. So the Eight of Wands is pushing us forward in a way that is rather extraordinary. And it's coming with this cleansing of emotions and this looking at everything that we have set up, everything that we have worked for, everything that we desire. And it's seeing things differently, but it's also moving forward tremendously. And it brings us to the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles needs things to be balanced. It just does. And there's a sense of things not being balanced. So while you're moving forward, there is going to be a sense of either giving, or feeling like we have to take, which I know is never the popular thing to say, but it's like, I can't handle this. I need to just hold on. But there's also a sense here with people, with the sense of things need to be balanced. I can't just give, they can't just take, and it's even with the people where they give too much and we feel like we're just taking from them all the time. Things need to be balanced. And in the public arena, as you're moving forward, you're really calling for a greater balance of what is desired and where it is that you want to be. It brings us then to the Emperor. So as we're balancing the scales, and this is the minor arcana, Justice card for me. And what happens is that we're calling upon discernment. And the discernment is to say, well, what is it that I want? What is it that I need? How is it that I can move forward for the power of me? And it's balancing things in a profound and beautiful way. It's saying, oh, I get this, don't I? Oh, I see this, don't I? And it brings us into a bit of harmony. If we can say to people, listen, that's not fair. That's not what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. That's not where I'm going. This is where I'm going. It's not being cruel or being mean. It's just really setting up boundaries. And so as we set up these boundaries, we start to claim our power. And I really love the depiction of the Emperor here. The Emperor is fierce and protective. And the cool thing with the Emperor is that when you have a Papa Bears don't stick around, because if they do, the cub is in a lot of trouble. But here you have that Papa Bear sticking around. You have an anomaly creating protection and bounty. And for the human individual, the anomaly here that is being depicted is claiming our power. There are a few people in this world that will always claim their power, even if they don't have any. They will sit there and think that they're awesome, or just keep on pushing until they reach the top. But so many of us don't have that unbridled confidence. We hold ourselves back. And here, what the Emperor is saying is to push forward with a bit more brazenness and boldness and determination, to look at the power that we have, to look at the dedication that we have, and say, I am moving forward towards my goals. I am claiming something extraordinary. I am not the ordinary person people think I am. I am claiming the throne of my life because nobody gets to rule over me. And that becomes a powerful and exquisite turn of events. Because we are claiming the victor's mode. Remember that Aries is the god of war. And to be the god of war, you have to be the great strategist. You have to look at all sides. War is not something entered into lightly. And so here, there is that sense of being that general, being that person who commands, and then saying, but I also think about it. I choose my battles because I claim my prosperity, my wealth, my purpose, my desires. And it brings us to a wish being granted. It brings us to the Nine of Cups, to something beautiful coming, and we don't see it. There's a lot of blindness during this time. It's a lot of, I'm not seeing what's right in front of me, or, life is so complicated and so difficult that it becomes hard to really look at the blessings that are coming during this time. But there really are extraordinary ones. And so the blessing of the Nine of Cups comes, and it's going to be easier for other people to see this than it is for ourselves to see it. And this can be true with a lot of things. But this is also going to be a bit tricky, because during this time, when we're focused so hard and we're facing oppositions that play to what we're working towards so beautifully, that really challenge us and make us have to stand in our truth and say, this is what I stand for. Like, this is my hill. This is what's intrinsically important to me. People see that, and they start to they see you in a different light, but they start to kind of question things about themselves. People don't like to have other people kind of showing them up. And during this time, just by the way that you're showing people up, because you're finding a balance, you're claiming a truth, you're seeing paths open that they couldn't even have imagined. They wouldn't even think to walk that way. And so it makes it a time where, yes, the wealth comes in, yes, the prosperity moves us forward exquisitely, but there's a need to stand firm in convictions and to really embrace the power and the change that is coming. Okay, so let's look at your spirit animal message. Taurus, March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Taurus. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Taurus. March 16th to the 31st, 2021, Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh. Okay, you have a whole bunch come out. That's nice. So we're starting off with the white raven, which is one of my favorites because I think it's just beautiful. It says, trust in the magic, which we forget to trust in the magic. We think also magic has to be something extraordinary. The fact that there is a sunrise and sunset is magical. It's extraordinary. The fact that birds sing and the fact that we walk this earth is extraordinary. Trust in the magic that is all around us. The extraordinary has become part of our ordinary, and that it's sad. It brings us then to the coyote spirit. It says, trust in the divine detours. Things have happened in our lives that we have never expected. We could never have anticipated. It took us off route completely, or a circuitous route where we're like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to get to where it is I want to be? The coyote spirit is saying, trust in the detours, because you are being guided. And quite frankly, Taurus, you're being guided exquisitely. The whale spirit, trust in the great mysteries. You're not going to see everything. You're not meant to see everything. The whale spirit is also the spirit of the record keeper of this earth. It's like the knowledge that is kept. It comes to us in song. It comes to us in vibrational energy. Trust in the mysteries. They're grander than you know. And then finally, we have the moth spirit. Surrender now. Surrender now to dreams, to desires, to paths not walked, and purposes seldom found. Surrender to the greatness of it all, and you'll be surprised what comes. And that doesn't mean be lackadaisical or complacent. It's like there is going to be something that comes that if we didn't say, I don't know everything, I'm not planning for everything, I am, considering the future, right? Kind of trying to make sure I have a good foundation in the future. But I'm living in the present. And I'm surrendering. Surrender now. Surrender to the now, to the present, to this time. And see where it takes you. It's not being foolish. It's not, just kind of going with the wind. But it's surrendering to the moments. and realizing, like so many of us do not, that the moments count more than we realize. Our subconscious spirit animal message is the turkey spirit. Give with gratitude and grace, because there is much to be grateful for, and there is a grace of spirit and dignity of self that is extraordinary that's coming forward. The subconscious chakra message is communication, the throat chakra. Spirit is communicating with you in a way that is extraordinary. You are going to be communicating with people on multifaceted different levels, which can make things very complicated because they don't know that they're doing it. Communication is key. Just know that you're playing a different game than most. The subconscious person message is the lovers. This is falling in love with life. This is Gemini energy, May 21st to June 20th, coming forward. So this is, if you're born on the cusp with Gemini, the Gemini side of you is really shining bright. If you have Gemini in your chart, it's really shining brightly too. Here there is a sense of embracing our love, embracing our passion, embracing our truth, embracing our determination. And we're going to see ourselves really connecting with what spiritually is astoundingly sensual to us, and what we greatly desire within our hearts, within our lives. And there's going to be a duality to us during this time. So the Taoist statement, this and that are true, is going to be so important. It's just not going to be one way that we need to see things. And we're going to also find that we are looking at every side of the story. We're looking at things so complexly that it is extraordinary. And then it brings us to the subconscious tarot message, which is the star. That is Aquarius energy, time frame January 20th to February 18th. The star is the wish card. So we have our wish being granted here in the public arena, which is hard for us to see. Subconsciously, we also have a wish being granted. And this is our soul's wish. This is a tremendously powerful wish of the inner being, an inner passion, an inner power of ourselves. And this is a rising to our power. But this is also looking at the highest form of man's perfection and saying, there is more here than I can ever realize. And there is more that I am striving for than even I myself know. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as the prosperity comes in and the wishes come forward. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus.